very common when it comes to their bans is that they don't want to see a Sima Yi. So let's see if that's going to be the same story, or is it going to be now, instead of banning it, are they going to be able to pick it?
I have a feeling that they're just going for that to not give so much info, because Sima Yi is not something that you usually see on the bans. But for the meantime, seems like, you know, this could be something, as we are already in the quarterfinals, things are gonna get serious as they go for the Mai Shiranui Kaiser ban and the Datsao ban as well. So in here, for the side of Easy Reborn, they just want to take out the highly mobile heroes up against AESIR Asgard, such as well as the high sustain like that of the Kaiser. Well, we did see how Kaiser does in the jungle side, but oof, Lamb is actually a free pick, secure first pick for the side of EZR.
First pick. I don't know if we have new viewers around here, or if we have the older viewers. During the previous days, when we see a Lamb in the picks of the teams, it doesn't usually end well. It ended well once, and that was yesterday. But is it going to be the same curse, or is it going to be a different story from now on? Now, looking onto AESIR Asgard, they do have their Clash lane and their support already secured for them. For the side of AESIR Reborn Esports, they do have Dolia here as their support, and of course their mid laner. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, the first of all, the combo between the Dolia as well as the Lamb, this is something that you don't really want to see. Imagine the Dolia just resetting the short cooldown skills of Lamb. This is going to be unlimited, so that is going to be looking scary, especially later on if the Lamb actually gets the itemization that he needs. But so far, with the backup coming from the U1 as well, that will just amplify actually their capability in going for team fights too, because, you know, so much sustain between these first 3 picks of Team Easy Reborn, but at the same time, very tanky on the side of AESIR Asgard in here. So I think what will be crucial later on are the damage dealers like that of really, late game farm laners from both of the sides. So far looking good for both bands of these teams.
Looking good. I'm excited as to who's going to be the damage dealer for AESIR Asgard, knowing that the sustain coming in from Easy Reborn is a bit too overwhelming. I mean, they do have those heals, but again, AESIR Asgard is going to be answering that back with heroes that are, much capable of sustain, tankier heroes that can soak up that damage. Now, what we're waiting on is going to be who's going to be the damage dealer. Are we going to be looking into Lady Sun? She is open.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to see a Lady Sun? Arlie,
even the Arlie is open. Lots of options right now. D-Renji, like what we've seen a while ago. So I guess putting this to last is just like reasonable enough, since both of the teams really wants to focus on the frontliners and going for that engage. But so far, even though the Arlie is actually banned out in here, you know, still a lot of options for the farm laners. But I think they really want to go for that utility kind of play for both of the teams. That's why the reason of early secure for like that of the Princess Frost, the Jolia, as well as the U1. But yeah, we'll see who's gonna go. I mean, let's say if it's gonna be the Renji or if it's gonna be Marco Polo, or where is this heroes gonna go?
I'm looking at Fang too. The possibility of Fang. So we have 3 picks, right? We have Lady Sun, we have Marco Polo, and then we still have Fang open. Elaine did get banned. Arlie got banned as well. Masashi as well. So what we are missing in for the side of AESIR Asgard is going to be their jungle and their...
The Liu Bei is actually going to be secured in here. I don't see Liu Bei that much in high competitive, but I'm excited to see how they're going to be capitalizing or utilizing this Liu Bei as one of the heroes that they have in the kit. So going up against the Lamb, I think pretty much fair, but it will also boil down on to how they will support their jungler in capitalizing on that ganks or maybe even the invades in the jungle. But meantime, Mayin and Consortium, I think this is looking scary as well for the Princess Frost. I think the Princess Frost really needs to be very careful on this Mayin because can be pretty annoying hero, especially onto the late game. And by the way, 1717 is such a hardcore in the Clash lane by history.
1717. I mean, are these players from it? Okay, now that we saw Durenji, we see Main, we see Concert U. How are we looking at in terms of damage? I mean, by the looks of AESIR Asgard, I feel like they are looking to prolonging these team fights, soaking up that damage in order for Durenji to actually go in for that team fight, probably go in and melt down those opponents. But is it going to be possible with the Dolia around? Is it going to be enough? That's going to be the question. We're going to be moving on to our match number 2. That's going to be up against AESIR Asgard versus AESIR Reborn Esports. We're going to be hopping onto the Land of Forge just in a bit. But what are you excited about to see?
I'm excited to see how they're gonna execute the Lamb. You mentioned already by history in the past few days of AOK, so much defeats of the Lamb, but maybe Team Easy Reborn will be able to make a comeback for this one. But yeah, I'm excited to see the lane matchups later on, especially between the Consortium as well as the Durenji. Definitely there is a range advantage for the Consortium. He can just like poke out using her S1, but at least at the same time, fortunately for the Durenji, he can go just for his S2 just to avoid those potential flanks coming from the Mayin as well. But yeah, we head on to the Gorge. This is the match between AESIR versus Easy Reborn, both Philippine teams. Let's see how this one will pan out.
I love how you mentioned Durenji versus Concert U, but then both of these heroes, they focus on a harass, and it's not just, you know, as easy as harass, but it's like more on long range, right? So it's a matter of who's going to be able to get those attack speeds in earlier on in the game. But we are going to be seeing a 2v2 situation here. What is going to be the call? I feel like that's going to be disengaged for now, but Princess Frost still going in for those damage and that poke. Is there going to be any further casualties? Are we going to be see the first blood immediately onto this game? I don't think so, not just yet, but we are seeing that pressure onto the middle lane.
And I love how Rengu actually go for that protection of the jungle camp. Although, quite unfortunate for them, EZR was actually able to steal some of the jungle camps on the side of AESIR. But knowing that there's not much damage yet on the early stages of the game from Rox as well as Yasu, Rengu knows that. I mean, confidently he goes for that. And by the way, there's the smite on the hands of Rengu. But meantime, on to the top side, I think there's a tussle ongoing. A 3v2 situation right now. Super low on HP is Hobbin. Fortunately, he was able to actually survive that fight. And yeah, looks like there are more rotations coming in, but I think it's time. I'm just gonna go back on that smite on Rengu. So usually they would want to actually go for the aggressive play whenever a support has the smite, especially go for jungle invades. But unfortunately, we did not see that, primarily probably because Yasu and Drax actually went first hand on actually going for the invade. So, but let's see later on. I mean, there are more objectives to take on. This is just the start of the game anyway.
AESIR Asgard just going in for that pressure earlier on the game, getting some heroes down, and the engage or the discipline play coming in from AESIR Reborn. It's not new to us. We have seen AESIR Reborn play. They're just so disciplined, and they know when to start the fight, and they know when to back away. And there you go. Flash is already gone. Resource is already gone. But are we going to be able to see another clash?
Lucky is so low up top.
Ooh, yeah. Both heroes low. Yeah. Are they gonna disengage or are they gonna go for?
I think they're playing onto the capacity on going for mechanical play. But meantime, look at the first blood coming from the Zhang Fei. That will secure a kill onto the hands of AESIR Asgard. But yeah, that's the support. Usually you would want to give it out onto your damage dealer, but it's okay. I mean, at least the first blood overall went onto their side. And quite unfortunate, we did not see, I mean, how it actually panned out from the start. But Zhang Fei, since he has you know, he has the sustain and the tankiness, he can just like go front and get damage coming from his teammates.
Right. Bottom lane is a 2v1. Middle lane is 2v2. 1v1 still up top. No further casualties for both teams, but we might be able to see an engage here. Nope, that's not going to be the case. Dolia is going to be providing vision here,
Ooh,
but are they going to be enough? Is it going to be a 3v3, 4v4 situation here? Skills left and right coming in. Concert gets that kill on Renji, follows that up. Lamb eliminates Princess Frost, and there you go. A double kill is going to be coming in as well. The chase is going to be there, and there you go. AESIR Asgard securing 4 kills, and EZR responding with 2 more kills. But is it actually worth it? As AESIR Asgard here secures the first Tyrant of the game.
Definitely gonna give them more gold. Could have been better if they actually got that before the fight, but it's okay because at least that's an objective, and at the same time they actually were able to take down a lot of members from the side of Easy Reborn. So I think, counting on the mistake that has happened in here, I think Hesed was so deep trying to go for a kill on the back line. Could have been waited a little bit when his teammates are actually more prepared, and you know, because they're like, I mean, these are like too squishy here. Well, yes, there's some sustain in the Dole, but compared to the Zhangfei, definitely you have to wait for more heals to come in, a little bit of mid to late game time before you can actually sustain more damage coming from the opponent. But it has already been done. We can only move forward. For the meantime, really nice knockback coming from the Lamb, but that was a little bit too deep. They can only go for the zoning and try to hit the tower, but this is looking good in the bottom part of the map, as well as they have actually destroyed the first tower of the game.
That's first tower going on to AESIR Asgard. This is what we were talking about. We have no idea how but by the looks of it, they're in it for the long run. They are securing those objectives as well as the kills that they need. But again, EZR just calm and composed. And it's going to be a 2v1 situation here. Kills left and right going on for that chase. Are they going to engage further? Nope, that's not going to be the case, as backup does go in here. But they are going to be surrounding this Overlord. Now it's a matter of who's going to be able to secure this. The Dolia is right there for vision. She is going to get targeted, and she is going to be knocked back. Zoning capabilities coming in from the side of AESIR Asgard as well. Ooh, 1 kill on
no steal.
No steal, and there you go.
No steal, definitely. And now the hope for Hesed right now is to try to take down the tower down bottom part of the map, but the pressure is in up top. 3v1 situation. 171 can only back away, and this is gonna be tricky though in the mid lane. I don't think Easy Reborn will be able to go for that push easily, because they are gonna be dealing with Winter is here coming from OD, and that's gonna be tough to actually deal with. You know, the slows are gonna be super annoying, especially if they don't have much sustain, because Dolia needs to go online, or needs to be to go for more heals coming from his kit.
Gold lead, in terms of gold lead, the discrepancy is not too big. Again, EZR is playing a little bit, I mean, they're playing really passive. It's still the same story as how they did it in eliminations. They go in for that disciplined aggression. They do know when to disengage as well, and they do play together. It's just a matter of, you know, they do get bursted down immediately by AESIR Asgard, and they're coughed off guard. So let's see how that's going to be playing out. I mean, objective wise, okay, that's not going to be anything. No casualties, no further casualties. But then again, objective wise, AESIR Asgard does have the upper hand. But let's see EZR Reborn as how they're going to be answering that back as we move towards our mid game.
They definitely need some itemization for the consortium in here, as well as the main to go online. I hope that there will be no more Hesed going in early on onto the backline. Most especially, definitely have to wait for the Mayin to be on the team fight as well. But yeah, I love how AESIR is actually capitalizing on the duo combo of the Zhangfei. You know, so much Zhangfei and the Princess Frost. There's just so much zoning capabilities with them too, breaking out the formation of the members of Easy Reborn whenever this Rengu just goes with the ult, and that's gonna be looking scary. Ultimate has been popped already, but there's just going to be a few seconds cooldown for him. No team fight. Seems like it's gonna be happening anytime soon, unless maybe. Nope. Seems like there's nothing. There's just gonna be an objective take, and this is a good time for AESIR to actually look for a team fight while they have the Shadow Lightning, Chain Lightning buff coming from the Tyrant.
Right, and we are still a couple of seconds away until that Overlord spawns. So again, no engage, but there you go, Princess Frost ult is gonna be there. No further engage, no further casualties for both teams. Again, I feel like they're just playing it for the long run, but then again, it's going to be a little bit scary for the side. I mean, it's going to be advantageous for AESIR if they just wait onto that late game just so that they can get onto that itemization and get their damages in. But there you go! Dolia does get super low, but that's not going to be enough just yet. No further engage yet again. Disciplined aggressiveness coming in from both sides. I like how this is. I like how both teams are playing, but is it going to be enough for the side of AESIR Asgard, or is it going to be a snowball effect for the side of AESIR Reborn Esports once we move on to the late game?
They're prolonging the fight, or the match rather, in here from the side of AESIR Reborn. And what they're doing a while ago is they're managing the minion waves. They're trying to make sure that they're gonna go balance it out. But for the meantime, a 1v2 situation right now. There is a chase up against one of the members of Team AESIR Asgard, but that is a good minion flow of minion waves down bot. Meantime, let's continue onto the team fight right now. Ultimate has been popped already by the Zhangfei. This is gonna be slowing down the members of Team AESIR Reborn. And while that is happening, Consortium will just go for the push of the bot. And here we go as they continue to find their way to back away. The DRNG will go for that kill, and yes, kills onto the hands of Team AESIR Asgard. But look at what Consortium has done on the bottom part of the map.
That is a big play coming in from the Consortium, and it's a smart play too. Now the question is, was it worth it? Was the 2 casualties from the side of AESIR Reborn worth it just so that they can push onto the bottom lane? My answer is going to be yes, because again, it's a matter of objectives, and AESIR Reborn Esports, they have done an amazing job, even through eliminations. They know when to get those kills in, and they will prioritize the objectives, and those objectives actually, they're more focused on being able to manage their minion waves as well as getting all those turrets down. But are we going to be able to see another engage here? It's going to be a call of back away for the side of AESIR Reborn as AESIR Asgard secures another tower onto the bottom lane.
They already gathering up in here all together, capitalizing on the draft that they have in the game. Actually, on the fight that happened a while ago while the Consortium is pushing down bottom part of the map, that was in favor of AESIR Asgard, I would say, because the Overlord was about to go up, and right after they won that clash, it gave them the upper advantage of securing that kill. But then again, I love how the Consortium still pushed down bot, and it will give them actually a lot of space. Could have been better though if it was the mid, but quite dangerous and risky as well, because I mean the rest of the members of AESIR Asgard was just around the corner, and they don't have the capacity to go all out engage, especially if the Mayin or the is not actually around. Vision being popped in here, so some HP bars and rocks going low, and yeah, I mean right now AESIR Asgard has the control over the map, but they cannot make any mistake on this one because there's still a light of hope for the side of AESIR Reborn.
Again, that light of hope is going to be coming in later on in the game once the players of AESIR Reborn start scaling and starts going in for their itemization. But again, for AESIR Asgard, what they have to do here now is be able to pressure all the members of AESIR Reborn, and that's exactly what they're trying to do here onto the Lamb. But is it going to be enough? Blue buff is going to get stolen away from the Lamb, I believe. No, I don't think so. All right, so no further engagements. Middle turrets are still intact for the side of AESIR Asgard, but again, they have to watch out for their bottom lane as well as their top lane, because by the looks of it, AESIR Reborn Esports, they're focused on managing their minion waves and being able to get onto those team engagements or to those team fights, just so one of their members can actually push onto the towers on nearby lane.
That's so true. Still, the match is being prolonged. Do take note of that. This is gonna look scary though if it went on to like a 20-minute game time or in Hobin or maybe even 1717 as well as Hazard going online. So I think AESIR Asgard as soon as possible needs to capitalize on the power that they have right now as a team. I mean, DRNG is doing a good job in actually going for the stuns and free hits despite the CCs coming from the side of Easy Reborn as well. He can manage. Just go for that S2. Doesn't need to be, Rengu in here doesn't need to fully protect Noah because he can protect himself. Rengu as well as OD can just like go all together, go for that creation of space in order for the DRNG to free hit onto the backline. But the psycho play coming from Easy Reborn, forcing the members of AESIR Asgard to just dissipate away from the map, forcing them to defend the lanes because in terms of minion wave control, looks like Easy Reborn is having the upper advantage. But meantime, will there be a potential clash that might happen in here as they try to go for the Overlord take? Nah, they're gonna go back away a little bit.
Back away is the right call for the side of Eastbourne. I mean, it's a 2-7 discrepancy in terms of kills. But then again, when we look into the gold lead, yes, the upper hand does Asgard, but again, we're just waiting on the late game, and we're looking at potential engagements here onto the Overlord. Who's going to be able to steal what? The ultimate of the side of Rengu is going to be coming in. Lamb is taking for the side of AESIR Reborn Esports. Chase does come in. Is it going to be enough to get another casualty? Nope, that's not going to be the case. They do get onto a dive in. 1717 is going to be coming in for that backup, but it's still not going to be enough. Shields are going to be popping in left and right, and still the sustain is going to be coming in from AESIR Asgard, but Dolia is going to be securing one kill. Another casualty from the side of AESIR Asgard, and that's going to be 3 casualties in exchange for Lamb, and they are just fully punished here by AESIR Reborn. Are they going to be going in for that Overlord? I do think that they're going to be going in for that, but the question is AESIR Asgard going to allow them to secure this freely?
There's the zoning coming from the Dolia. Seems like they will be able to secure this Overlord. It was a little bit scary because Nyx, he still has the smite available for himself, so he can go for it still. But Rox as well as Yasuo did a good job in zoning out this Nyx from trying to potentially go for that still. But yeah, this is already going a late game. As you can see, so much heals coming from both Yasuo as well as Rox. And even though, actually, 1717, if you saw from the match a while ago, he was trying to go to flank from the side, but he wasn't able to do so because Lucky as well as Rengu was just blocking him away from reaching Noah onto the back line. So really good job from the flankers from the side of Team AESIR on blocking 1717 from reaching Noah onto the back line. Even OD well protected on the back line, but to no afford because we saw the damage coming from the ultimate, coming from Hesed, even from his S1 as well. Really looking scary as they go online. They get heals, even though they're going solo. Heals coming from both Rox as well as Yasuo.
AESIR Reborn just going in for this Tyrant as well. Of course, that's an additional buff for them. Are they going for it? But no, they're going to prioritizing that kill. One does go low HP, but the Princess Frost ultimate is going to be coming in as well, and they will continue onto this Tyrant uncontested. EZR is going to be securing yet another objective right after that Overlord, giving them the gold lead for now. How are they going to be sustaining this? Again, this is just less than 1k gold lead, but how is this going to be playing out? They are going to be engaging onto this middle part of the map. They're going to be able to secure this turret. Are they going to be able to do so? Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough, as minion wave is not going to be there for them to be able to take that down. But high ground turret is going to be out for the side of AESIR Asgard. We are looking at a much livelier side for AESIR Reborn Esports. Again, they were just prolonging the game itself just so that they can snowball later on, and now it's not going to be looking too good for AESIR Asgard.
Yes, this is the power that they have been waiting for. At least the sustain, the heals coming from both Rox and Yasuo is already there. Likewise, the damage coming from Hesed. Still though, 1717, we would see him most of the time having a hard time going for the flank onto the back line and the sides as well. But he managed to go for that high ground tower take, as you mentioned, down bottom part of the map. The tables have been turned, and it's now on to the side of AESIR Reborn, where we find the lead. HP bars going solo right now. Really nice knockback coming from the lab, forcing one member, Odie, to actually fall onto the hands of the members of Team AESIR Reborn. Fight still continuously happening. 3 members solo on the side of Team AESIR. And the double kill. Looks like they're gonna go for that revenge play for the lab, and this is gonna be it. A wipe out on AESIR Asgard. Even a triple kill. AESIR Reborn will take that first win on this best of 3 series.
That is crazy. This is this the gaming chair buff? Gaming chair buff. Boot camp buff.
Boot camp buff.
Facts. But yeah, I guess we were right when we said that in terms of discipline play, we were both right in when it comes to AESIR Reborn, simply because again they are simply known as a team that's going to prioritize those objectives rather than kills, and that's the completely opposite story for the side of AESIR Asgard. Yes, they did have the upper hand. Unfortunately, they just waited for the late game and they fell onto the trap of AESIR Reborn Esports, pushing it onto the late game, allowing them to snowball and just completely shred the tanky builds of AESIR Asgard.
That is so true. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Could have been prevented by AESIR by just, trying to go for that counter play. It could have been obvious, but they are in the battlefield. The power of the D-Renji was there. Even the Zhangfei as well as the Princess Frost was doing so well in creating that space for the D-Renji to free hit. But yeah, as we can see into the mid-game part of the game, Team AESIR Reborn was just trying to avoid the clashes, or if not, they will try to clash, but someone else is actually going for the push. We saw that a while ago when Hesed actually over the bottom tower takes, and those were 2 towers opening up, giving them some gold in order to catch up. But then again, at least these 2 teams, they are showing us that no one is actually ever dominating. But for the meantime, MVP of the game, it is going to be Hesed, the consortium of AESIR Reborn.
KDA 414, damage dealt 107.9k with a total gold of 13.3k and team fight rate of 80%. Now, he did manage to get onto those crucial damage, or he was able to dish out those crucial damages later on in the game that helped his team just melt down the tanks of AESIR Asgard. Now, I do feel like AESIR Asgard, this is what they have to look out for moving on to game number 2 for this match series. I feel like they were going in for the tanky hero simply because they wanted to end the game as early as possible. Now, it was doable for them, and we were able to see that. But unfortunately, just AESIR Reborn was able to, set up the trap flawlessly, and AESIR Asgard, even if they were super tanky, it was no match up against the damage dealt by all of the players of AESIR Reborn. Now, moving towards game number 2, is it now going to be a respect ban, or is it going to be a completely different lineup wherein they're now going to answer back with the damage dealt by AESIR Reborn?
Well, AESIR, I'm pretty sure they did manage their draft so well. It's just a matter of how they were so scared in the mid lane part of in the mid part of the game, where they were kind of hesitant to just go all in, even though they got the advantage, and now they have suffered. So the draft was so well. I think there is no need to, so far as I see, to actually go for any respect ban, because they can they can play their hero so well. It's just that the team execution that needs to be worked on a little bit. But then again, from game 1, gotta commend as well, how Lamb actually go for that initiates of the team fight, going for the knockbacks, And I think Consortio positioned himself so well. Hazard thus the MVP too. I think that was a very risky play to actually even go all alone onto the bottom lane part of the map, going for that push because it could have been maybe the Byron or the Liu Bei meeting him up in there in the bot. But for the meantime, there's still game 2 and game 3. There's still hope for the fans of AESIR Esports in here. But yeah, I mean, they're matching up in terms of skills, right? Even the draft as well, I would say.
I totally agree with you. It's just a matter of, setting up traps or who's going to be falling onto that trap first. Now, I love how AESIR Asgard, they were able to sustain throughout the first few minutes of the game. But again, when we're talking about late game, just the damage and the snowball potential of the lineup of AESIR Reborn, they just gave it to that to them. It's more of the way I see it, it was either was AESIR Asgard, or did they become a lot more aware of Concert Q's presence after what happened to the bot lane, or was it, or it was more of like, are we going to choose to go engage, or are we going to be contesting this overlord or this tyrant or this turret, or are we going to be mindful of the other members of AESIR Reborn, because we can't allow what happened to the bot lane to happen again.
That's true. And I think at the same time, because we do know both Dolia and Lam are powerful whenever they are in the river with their passives, one becomes a mermaid and take advantage of the dolphin as well. So I think they were avoiding the team fights to happen in the river as well. But moving forward, let's head on to our game 2 on this best of 3 match. 1 point lead by AESIR Reborn Esports already. Again, these are pro players coming from several different game titles, but what impresses me is that AESIR Asgard, they are matching up against these former pro players, and it tells us something. Doesn't matter if you were a pro from any previous game. This is a new game title we're talking about, and this is new for everyone right now. We definitely can catch up. So I think that is AESIR Asgard telling us right now, despite the loss from game 1.
Right. I mean, despite the loss, you have to commend them because they were able to hold up against Born. So it was a shocking. Was it shocking? I feel like half of me would say I was shocked. Half of me would say that I was expecting AESIR Asgard to hold up against AESIR Reborn. It's just that it was so long, and allowing AESIR Reborn to have that much time, or allowing AESIR Reborn to have a lot of time to get their itemizations in, because that's what we mentioned earlier. Once they have their itemizations, they can easily melt down the members of AESIR Asgard. But now let's look into our bans and picks of match number 2. AESIR Asgard immediately securing that Hino, and AESIR Reborn with the Kaiser.
And AESIR Reborn here, they really love sustain heroes. Another sustain jungle again in the form of the Kaiser. But to take note, AESIR Asgard, they're actually well in going for that early gameplay, and them having the Hino. So that is I think something to look forward to in this game, especially if you give that Hino the kills that he needs early on. And I wonder if they're actually gonna give that smite for the Hino, because Hino is another hero that can actually get that smite onto his kit, onto his spell, and just annoy maybe Kaiser later on in the jungle. I wonder if that's going to be the type of execution that AESIR Asgard is going to pull off. I hope that is, because that is some high level kind of play that we might be able to see. But they want to go still for the Liu Bei, and they're going to go for more tanky in their lineup, which is in the form of the Dun.
I am going to be seeing in the lane here and the Kaiser. Seen that in the previous match or in the game. He can pretty much hold up by himself, but is it going to be the same story for AESIR Reborn? Looking at the lineup of AESIR Asgard here again, they're not just going to go in for those for the scaling heroes, they want tanky heroes. They want to be able to sustain themselves. But now the mid laner is going to be picked for the side of AESIR Reborn as well. So damage and heal and sustain, AESIR Reborn has that. For the side of AESIR Asgard, they have sustain and damage as well. Now what's going to be interesting is Hino going to be a flex pick, or is he going to be the mid laner?
We'll see about that, where this Hino will go. I'm loving him in the mid lane though. I mean, as a mid laner, you can rotate in whichever part of the map, mid, top, bottom as well. And that is a good opportunity for him to actually go for that vision up against as to where the Kaiser will be in the map. I love the Zhangfei ban coming from Team AESIR Reborn though. I mean, the Zhangfei a while ago on the hands of AESIR Asgard was quite scary. He does know how to play this hero so well. Arlita is gonna get banned again. This is the same hero that has been banned again in the farm lane. All of the skills of an Arlie are mobility skills, so definitely a reason to ban. But for the meantime, we are not seeing any farm laners. They are putting it to last because, you know, there's a lot of options in there. It's now just a matter of if you're gonna pick an early farm laner hero, or you're gonna wait for a late game such as the Consortium a while ago.
And I love how AESIR Reborn Esports was just respecting AESIR Asgard. They didn't allow them to get any more tankier heroes. So that was already banned out. But you know what? Concert U again is going to be coming in. I mean, it worked for them for the previous game. Why not get it again, right? So I love this. I love the lineup. Kaiser, Elaine, Concert U, and a mid laner. And then what we are now waiting for, I guess, is a support, right? Roamer. For the side of AESIR Reborn, and farm lane is still a question for AESIR Asgard, and we're still waiting on what kind of pick is Hino going to be, or what kind of role are they going to be assigning to Hino. Is it going to be mid, or is it going to be the farm?
We'll see about that. But again, I'm still eyeing for a mid lane Hino in here. I just noticed in here, AESIR Reborn really loves to go onto the late game. And now we see the Lucian as well as the Huyi secured in here. Huyi is not very mobile compared to a Consortium, but definitely can dish out a lot of TPH damage. Lucian is very good in pushing. Hopefully, I mean, as AESIR Asgard had a hard time in ending the game. Hopefully, Lucian will be the answer on that one. With the Liang pick though as the support for the side of AESIR Reborn, this is another annoying support hero as well, because you know the stuns here and there are gonna be blocking off all your damage, stopping you from entering the fights. I think that is a good way to protect the Consortium on the backline.
It's still about zoning out. And when we look at AESIR Asgard, now we're looking at the stuns, we're looking at the slows, we're looking at the crowd control capability of AESIR Asgard now. And for AESIR Reborn, it's still going to be about sustain, damage, and zoning out. And this is going to be interesting. Again, the previous game, it was a close game. And what I'm expecting for game number 2 is another close game. But now what's going to be interesting is it going to be the upper hand for AESIR Reborn Esports all throughout? Or is it going to be the same? Or is it going to be switched out wherein AESIR Reborn has the advantage onto the early game, and then later on AESIR Asgard is going to be catching up? But we're going to be figuring that out as we bring you guys in onto the Land of Gorge game number 2. AESIR Asgard versus AESIR Reborn Esports. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. What I actually would want to see in here is the combo in the duo lane between Lucian as well as Huyi. Definitely with the DPS damage coming from the Huyi as well as Lucian having that passive that he has. Easy push in the towers. I think that is a good combination to look forward to. But it's going to be tough if it's just going to be them, or when the members of AESIR Reborn is actually around their corner. Especially we have high mobility heroes such as the Elaine as well as the Kaiser that can poke them up. But anyway, Lucian is quite tanky, especially even on the early, so looking like no problem from that one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to them capitalizing their duo combination in there.
Duo combination indeed. And if we're looking at the map, it's already a 3v3 situation right towards the bottom lane of the map. Are we going to be able to see an engage? Of course, the zoning capability of a Liang present there as well. I mean, this is going to be interesting because there's two ways you can go about Liang. It's either you go for a full support, or you can even put in some damage items for him once he dishes out his second and third skill. But there you go, the chase is going to be coming in. Slow is going to be the answer of the game, but there you go, first blood. Haino is taken out of the map. This could be crucial because, again, Haino, you can't allow him to snowball because of his damage potential in late game. So I think they are just pushing back the Haino. That's a good pick for the side of AESIR Reborn. So now what's going to be the response of AESIR Asgard?
Really love what AESIR Reborn did in that. They do know the strengths of Team AESIR Asgard in here, but they cannot forget the capability of the Hoi as well onto the late game. Yes, not so mobile, but then again, if he's able to actually free hit, especially with the protection coming from Rengu, that's going to be looking scary as well. But yeah, for the meantime, this is just the early stages of the game. And I would expect actually more ganks onto the mid lane in here to stop OD on the Haino.
Right. So I mean, by the looks of it, AESIR Reborn Esports, they are going to be capitalizing on their lineup coming in, and it's not going to be the case. A lane is going to be going on very low there, decides to go back. Haino is going to be up top. Bottom lane here is saturated by the side of AESIR Reborn Esports. Again, the zoning capability of Liang, and of course, the capacity to bring vision to his teammates. But is this going to be a push towards the middle part of the map? We are going to be seeing that later on. It is going to be a 2v3. But then again, OD is there. As the Haino, they're not going to be engaging further on.
They want to avoid another casualty, but for the meantime, a 4v1 situation in here. A kill onto the Illusion. Not tanky enough in the early stages, especially up against 4 members from the side of AESIR Reborn. 2-kill lead already on the side of the red team AESIR, and that is looking good for them. And yeah, I mean, they're managing the flow of the waves so well in here in favor of AESIR Reborn.
I love how earlier on the game, AESIR Reborn is already, they already understand what they're trying to do, and they immediately know what to do. But now the Tyrant and the Overlord has spawned. Unfortunately, Yasu here is not going to be committing that one. But there you go. Overlord is going to be coming for the side of AESIR Asgard. Further engagements are going to... Chase is going to be there as well. OD here as the Haino, he does get punished as well. He's a little bit too deep, and there you go. That's 2 casualties for the side of AESIR Asgard. Are we going to be seeing more up top? I don't think so, but there you go. A lane is going to be coming in. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough just to get Lucky out of the equation.
It's okay, they're gonna go for a secure onto the middle lane tower of the game. Yushan is all alone here, gonna get stunned and slowed and damaged all out. He will fall down on the hands of the Kaiser. That was quite unfortunate. I don't know why the Illusion was actually there while his teammates was actually not actually there to deal some damage. Meantime in here, we can see Noah going so low, gonna be defeated onto the hands of that Yasu, and they will be able to secure another tower for themselves.
I mean, the side of AESIR Asgard, they do have the Wyvern, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, just looking at the resources available as well as the objectives taken by the side of AESIR Reborn and the discrepancy in kills as well, I don't think that's just going to be enough for them to be able to get another objective. And by the looks of it, AESIR Reborn, they're just playing all together, and they're not letting AESIR Asgard, get one of them or get any picks from them, and that's a good sign. But let's see if there's going to be further engagement here up top. Dune, Lucky is all alone here. Is this going to be a gank? We're just waiting in for the stun. Is it going to be enough? Is he going to overextend? That's going to be the question.
You cannot.
Is he going to be overextending? He
Just give it away.
3v1, shields are popped.
Oh,
he does go in for that knockup, but it's not going to be enough. He does go out. OD is there for that backup, but unfortunately, that's going to be another turn for the side of AESIR Asgard. 1v1 situation.
Almost.
In Tagalog, piso na lang.
Piso na lang, nakasurvive pa itong si Nyx. And there you go, really nice play coming from Nyx. They're still surviving, not giving another kill onto that Kaiser. But meantime, onto the top side, we can see fight ongoing. Heino trying to dish out some damage, but to no afford because he is lacking some itemization. Look at that, he is only level 8 in comparison to the highest level onto the side of Easy Reborn, which is level 11. There's a lot of catching up that is needed to be done by AESIR Asgard.
I mean, looking at the gold lead, 16.6 compared to 21.k, it's already a big see, and we are just 7 minutes in the game, but you are already seeing the disciplined aggression coming in from EZR. They know who to pick first, they know when to go in for that kill, and again, they are still prioritizing those objectives, namely the Overlord, the Tyrant, as well as those turrets. So it's a completely different type of EZR now. They're not as on, and they are actually they manage to get multiple members of AESIR Asgard very low. It's just unfortunate that AESIR Asgard they are able to get out of that engagement pretty quickly, so that's a really good sign from AESIR Asgard as well.
That's true. I mean, there's no Princess Frost in here, but the Liang is just so annoying on blocking the members of AESIR Asgard to go for any fights. But anyway, they're not in a position to actually go for any fights right now as they have a lot of catching up to do. But this is going really quick. Usually, when you have the Lucian, it is you who will have the upper advantage and actually going for pushes. But that didn't happen. But in here, we can see the Dun actually going all in. Will there be any casualty? Heino will go for a kill up against the Liang in here. A killing spree onto the U1, even the double, 2 members down on the side of AESIR Gaming. Will there be more? But there is a sustain coming from the heels of the U1 as well, and they will back away. But the Liu Bei will be able to caught off guard in here. He will be able to dash away. Some shields in here. Slows coming from the Kaiser. Will there be too much? And I think he will be able to survive anyway, unless he just goes out of the base.
I mean, Yazoo did an amazing job just trying to get on to, you know what, it was more of, okay, you get one of our team members, I get. And I love that response. I love the signs of life coming in from Easy Reborn Esports here. But then again, AESIR Asgard, they're holding pretty well. So it's a matter of being able to manage their minions well, because they are down multiple turrets, and it's just they're giving away these objectives. But again, they can't just contest this anymore simply because their turrets they have minimal turrets available or left for them to defend. So it's going to be a lot more crucial this time on. But then again, the Tyrant is going to be spawning, and Easy Reborn is going to be getting that uncontested.
And the towers of Easy Reborn are actually still left unscratched, so they this tells us that Rengu on the Lucian is not being utilized very well from the start on the side of AESIR Asgard. But they can do what Easy Reborn has done from game 1 a while ago. Just wait for the Houyi to go online, as well as the Heino. Sure, why not? Because there was a light of hope a while ago when Lucky Dunn actually went onto an initiate up against the members of Easy Reborn, taking down rocks first, even though, you know, there's could have been also Hazard, but that's one that was reachable from a while ago, and I think they just have to repeat the situation to happen. But meantime, in here, Rengu cannot get poked out way too much because he is definitely much needed to tank and soak in the damage from Easy Reborn.
Soak in the damage as well as get onto that crowd control. I mean, I am fully aware of the capabilities of Rengu dishing out the crowd control for his team. It's just it's not connecting, because it's either he gets isolated from the team, and then he gets picked off easy, and then there's not going to be anyone there. But here we have Nyx trying to contest, and unfortunately that's not going to be the case. Hobin just soaking up the damage from the Overlord on his own, and he is going to be able to secure that for his team as well. Objective-wise, Easy Reborn has the upper hand, but then again, AESIR Asgard, they still have enough time for them to be able to turn things around. Again, I just want to back on what you said. They just have to wait for Odi and Noah to actually go online, get those damage in, melt down those crucial heroes so that they can actually go in for the push. But is it going to be the story, or are they going to be continuously punished here by Easy Reborn as those objectives go in? There you go. And that's going to be connecting another engagement. The tank out of the team. Haino is down as well, securing a double kill. But is that going to be enough? Disengage is going to be the call for AESIR Asgard here. But then again, it's just going to be the high ground towers left for the side of AESIR Asgard.
That is so true. High ground already onto the top side will fall down anytime soon. Wyvern is left in there to finish the job of... there are actually 3 members down, but they're going so low. Noah will fall down onto the hands of the Elaine as well. And is this gonna be it? They do have the minion waves. And here, they're gonna go for more kills. And go for a 2-0 score in favor of Easy Reborn Esports. And they are gonna be moving forward to the semi-finals round. Look at that player cam that we have. They're actually going for that, you know, fist bump on screen. Just be careful, guys. I mean, your webcams, don't break it, okay? So you're going for the fist bumps on the camera, but I love it. I love how happy they are on the camera as well.
I mean, who wouldn't be happy? They were able to secure that, and also, who's not gonna be happy with the game results? We be able to see those stats and of course when we're talking about the casualty, look at that, all throughout the game they just had 1 death for the entire team compared to AESIR Asgard. Again, I feel like AESIR Asgard, they were just caught off guard. Wow, can't get my words right. Okay, they were caught off guard by AESIR Reborn here. But then again, GG is well played for the side of AESIR Asgard. I mean, looking at the damage conversion, it's not that bad. It's just that, you know, just they were already getting picked 1 by 1, and that's not what you want when it comes to these types of games. You get picked 1 by 1, you get isolated from your team, and you're not able to participate in those team fights that are going to be crucial for you to turn the tide around or to turn things around. But you know what? Team fight presence, Odie, Lucky, Noah, and Rangu, 100%. Nyx, we were lacking a little bit from him, but from the side of AESIR Reborn Esports, Hobin, 1717, Yasu, Hesed, and Ro, they just did an amazing job at trying to get onto those team fight participation, as well as the kills that are crucial. But now moving on to our MVP of the game, yet again, it's going to be Hesed with a KDA of 304.
Consortio once more in here, but on a confident level. It's like Consortio version 2.0, or rather Hesed version 2.0, as they head on to a better gameplay, because it was all dominating from the early until the late game. 304, no deaths, and actually it was only Rox who died. So definitely I think Rox, he needs to give a treat to his teammates, because he's the one who only died. Usually, that's what they give for the teammates. But yeah, really good job coming from Hesed. I think he did a good job in terms of going for the positioning in the map. And I think there was not much needed job for the Liang to actually go for that protection for our consortium. Because, of course, he is able to escape for himself. Just like the T-Renji, he has his own way to actually remove all the crowd control from himself.
Well, that is match series number 2 done. Again, GG's well played for. Can't stress this enough. They are at par with AESIR Reborn. It's just that it's a matter of execution, and they were literally caught off guard with the damage potential coming in from AESIR Reborn Esports. And I feel like the smart pick of Liang really helped them a lot. And again, what's scary about this is that moving forward, we are now seeing the potential of AESIR Reborn as a team, that they don't go in for a specific pattern for their team. They're not like, okay, let's go for tanky heroes it is, up to game number 3 or game number 2. They were able to turn things around, and that's what we saw from game 1 versus game 2. So that's done. We are now done with match series number 1 and match series number 2. Match 1 won by Malaysia Global, and of course AESIR Reborn Esports for match series number 2. That's Philippines. So we're going to be seeing Malaysia and Philippine representatives moving forward. Now, what's going to be interesting is match number 3, Voin Alliance versus Extraction PH. This is Indonesia versus Philippines. This is now going to be the determining factor. Are we dominant, or is the Philippines going to be the dominant representation onto Accession of Kings, or is it going to be Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia towards the end?
We'll have to find out, but I see how Extraction PH is very active in social media right now, posting a lot of updates, and I love that. I think that's the one way to actually promote the game even before the official launch. But then again, that's something that we can look forward to later on. But before that, of course, we are gonna be just heading on to a really short break as we prepare for the last series of the night. I'm Kaysai, with me is Miss Air. We'll be going back in a matter of minutes.